There are times when you can be aggressive with Fanny, but you need to pick the right time to be aggressive or else you'll pay the price. So we're gonna look at this game to know when and how to be aggressive. The very first thing to look at is the enemy jungler. If he's squishy and no dash skills, then we can be aggressive and continually invade the enemy jungle. And so we switch back to Assassin Emblem with Season Hunter for faster jungling. The next thing to look at is the enemy roamer, and it is Franco. He might come in to harass us, so in order to make it harder for him, we're gonna lead the creeps into this bush. But looking at the minimap, Franco is in the top lane assisting Layla, so it's gonna be safe for us to farm and invade consistently. After we get this purple buff, let us invade orange buff and see if Popol is there. He even used retribution, and with just simple cables, we can take him down. By the way, if you want to learn Fanny cables, watch this video later on. Since Franco is at top lane, we can aggressively take the purple buff of the enemy. And even though Popol already used his retribution, we're just gonna lead the creeps to the bush again so that Popol would have no choice but to get into the bush in order to get the purple buff. And once he gets into the bush, we're gonna unleash everything that we have to take him down. Farsa tried to help Popol but was too late. They managed to get our HP low, but we don't have to recall at this point. We can just regen our HP in the jungle. At this point, nobody's gonna be able to contest us in the jungle, so we're safe. Hence, it's a waste of time to recall. Now take a look at this. Even though Fanny is very low, with just the regen skill and the green orbs dropped by the creeps, you can almost get full HP. Considering that there's no more creeps for Popol to farm on his side of the jungle, he might come here to the turtle area because the turtle is almost up. And so we're just gonna wait for him here. And he actually showed up. Gord was able to stun him, and we're gonna go in for the kill with just simple cables. He actually was able to get the Lethal Wanderer, and I don't want to give the enemy vision, especially in the turtle area, so we're just gonna take care of it. Then try to gank bottom lane because they're ganging up on the XP laner. And after that successful gank, we're gonna go for the turtle now. And it's always a good idea to ask help from your teammates. Ask nicely and they might help you. Now looking at the minimap, the purple buff of the enemy is almost up. I would like to invade that again, but we're low on health, so we're just gonna regen our health by taking our own purple buff. But on a quick glance from the minimap, Popol is not yet taking the purple buff, so we might still have time to go there and steal it for ourselves. But we need to take note that we don't have retri yet because we use it for the turtle. That's a minor miscalculation on my part. We could have just taken the turtle without using retribution, because if I had just reserved retribution, I could have secured the enemy purple buff. Anyways, that's just a minor detail. Nevertheless, we're still able to apply a lot of pressure to Popol. And since we're at the right side of the battlefield, we can also apply pressure to the EXP laner, Beleric, who is actually very low, hiding in the tower, probably baiting us so that he can use his skill ultimate. And he indeed used his ultimate, but we were able to escape. That's good because we were able to bait out his ultimate, and that makes life easier for our EXP laner. Now we'll just have to recover our HP in the jungle, and it's already full right now. And now we're very much ahead in farm, and I intend to keep it that way. Since there's no more creeps for Popol to farm in his own jungle, he tried his luck in ganking EXP lane, but we are here to support our EXP laner and counter gank the enemy. And with just simple cables, we were able to take out Popol and Beleric as well. So we're just gonna back out and then farm our own jungle. Regen health, repeat the cycle of invading, put pressure on the enemy jungler Popol, don't allow him to have comebacks, and deal with other threats, especially the marksman. Speaking of which, Layla is leading for her team. Even though we're significantly ahead of her, I just want to quench this late game threat. What I fail to see is that Ixia is also significantly ahead of farm than Layla, so she's more than enough to deal with Layla, and I can just focus on the jungle. So in a macro sense, it's much better to secure the turtle and invade the enemy jungle, because that would put pressure on the jungler and he won't be able to help the lanes at all. And here's a macro blunder. I went for top lane and it's paired up with a micro mistake. I went after Franco and got CC'd and focused on by Layla, and I got shut down. And with that, Ixia got shut down by guess who? The enemy jungler. After Fanny revived, we are rushing towards the turtle, but unfortunately Popol was able to get the turtle. Then he's starting to have momentum. But we will not allow that to continue. We are entering mid to late game now, and there will be more and more team fights from here on forward. And after a while, we have another clash at mid. We're just looking out for Franco's CCs. Once it's used up or he's distracted, we can go in. With that successful team fight, we can push, take the purple buff, and secure the Lord once the clock turns 8 minutes. So once we're done with the purple buff, we're just gonna lie in wait inside this bush, wait for the Lord, and ambush unsuspecting heroes like Popol. Now it's Belleric. Layla is having free hits from the right side, so we're just gonna go after her. She's the main damage dealer. Without her, the enemy team would crumble apart. And second to her is Farsa with her magic damage, so we're gonna go after her as well, but we're too low, so we're just gonna back out, take our purple buff, and go for the Lord next. Now we've wiped out the entire enemy, and we're just gonna signal the team to go for the Lord, and once they are in the Lord area, we are gonna go there and help as well. And it's always a good habit to inform your teammates that your retribution is ready. But we're not on the clear yet, as Popol took out Gord and he's probably heading this way, so we're just gonna secure this Lord with retry. But before Lord even spawned, the enemy picked us off one by one, and all who's left is Fanny and Gord. I briefly considered going after Farsa, but she's too far away, so we're gonna go for Popol instead. The entire enemy team except for Popol has revived, but our team hasn't yet, so we're just gonna wait for them before we go on a team fight. So for the meantime, we're gonna clear this wave, take the enemy purple buff, and wait for an opportunity to strike. Nothing's happening yet, but the enemy orange buff is up, so we're just gonna go over there and take it real quick, and probably we could be able to bait out some enemies like this. And a team fight is breaking out. It's a complete chaos. We're just gonna head out, but Popol is chasing us. He's hungry for vengeance, but that would backfire for him as we are able to burst him down. Shout out to Ixia for the maniac, and with that we wiped out every last one of the enemy heroes. I should have probably pushed here right away, but instead I went for the purple buff and then push, and because of that, our minion wave at top didn't reach the turret. They're just at the outer rim, so I ended up tanking most of the turret's damage. But we took out the turret nonetheless, and this should apply great pressure to the enemy team, at least at top lane. And this is a very dangerous combo. Franco and Farsa, they were able to take out the immortality, but luckily we were able to barely escape. The enemy has probably felt the pressure on top lane, so they're pushing it, but our team is poised to defend. After this, we tried to push with the Lord, but even then, the enemy somehow managed to defend. So I took matters into my own hands and be aggressive, trying to force it, and let's see what happens. If you want to learn Fanny in just 6 moves, watch this video. Click the link and see you there.